we should be recording. There we go. So I'll call the meeting to order at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. And we will start with old business. So we'll approve the meetings from December. So pull up, I'm just going to say the December meeting minutes and what we went over. Trying to run things on my phone, so should be good to go. Okay, so in December, we talked about the Klein show, and how the Klein show is that upcoming weekend, and we also talked about the upcoming Blue Bonnet show. So I believe, there we go. We can admit Leah there. I believe Jen Jordan is going to give us a little bit of a recap on that when we get to new business. We talked about the Holiday Fun Show that was going to be open for entries, and then open through December 31st, and then voting would start on New Year's Day. We went through the Secretary report, working on the amendments to the bylaws for approval at this meeting. We went through the Treasurer's report with the standing balance, and talked about how we were going to be switching bank accounts. And then we had our Vice President report with member update given, and youth updates with the Holiday Fun Show. And then the only other business that we had at the meeting was we moved what is now this meeting from January 1st to January 8th, because January 1st is the holiday. So with that, we will need a motion to accept the December meeting minutes, and then a second before moving on to the current meeting. All right, motion carries. So we'll start then in new business with our presidential report. So the biggest thing that we have here is the nomination and voting procedure. So if you saw the email that went out on Friday, this is officially going to be our first kind of standardized elections. So with that, we did propose an amendment to the bylaw, so we can get into that in a second. That kind of solidifies everything that we're going to be doing. So the way that we'll have it is, for anyone interested in the role, they'll need to be nominated. You can nominate yourself. You can nominate someone else. Whoever is nominated can either then accept or decline the nomination, and they have 48 hours to do so. So they can do that in the meeting, or we have opened it up. So there's a form now on the website that you can nominate someone indirectly through the website. But when you do it through the website, the biggest thing there is that the person you are nominating needs to know they're being nominated. So a couple of different ways if anyone is interested. And then, yeah, so the other thing we had talked about as a board, and what we're going to do is we're going to host a special meeting on February, just to give people a little bit more time. So we will also be accepting nominations at this meeting in February, and we'll review the nominations that came in through the website, so everyone is aware and very upfront about that. And then ballots will go out. They'll go out via email. It'll be a form that you fill out, and who you're voting for. Anyone that is a current paying member of the ACBA, with either a general or a business or professional account, is eligible to vote. So you'll cast your ballot, and the new president and secretary will be instated in March. So kind of the general flow of events there gives everyone a little bit of time to go through it. And then, yeah, I think we had talked about, as a board, just kind of opening the floor up for nominations and doing an example nomination so everyone can see how that would run. So with that, if anyone has nomination, we can go with that. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yep. Correct. So ballots will go out, I believe, the week after. Let me pull up the official. Yep. I agree. I think we can do that by Friday. Especially with at that point the only additional nominations will be done um in that meeting in person. Um Correct. I believe we said yep. Okay. I believe when we had our board meeting, this was brought up. I think, yeah, way back in November. I think we might have brought it up, or it might have been the last one. Did we want a little bit of time in between when ballots close and when we reach out to the new members or the people that were elected in before that March meeting? Because that'll give them a little bit less than a week. Um, yep. I'm thinking in the future though. Right. Okay. Yep. That works for me. Yep. All right. So that should be there. Do we want to do nominations now? We can open the floor up for that now that we've kind of cleared it. Um, okay. Yep. So let's start with secretary's position. If you'd like to nominate anyone for the secretary position, you can go ahead and say that now. A whole host of people. I think that's going to be a no there. Not at this time. So then we will open up nominations to president. I'll accept. Oh, there's a second. I don't think I can second it. Can I? Yeah. No. Yes. Yep. If you. Mhm. Oop. All right. Yeah, that was the next thing on the agenda. So the other thing that we're looking for in another amendment. So we did our first amendment. We'll go through that in a second in the bylaws. Melissa will talk through that. Um, but we're proposing a second amendment to include a 16-year-old rule for minimum age for the general board members. So anyone looking to be on the general board would have to be at least 16 years old. I believe there would also be a provision there about anyone that is on the board will have a vote in that. It was brought up that if you are a youth member on the in serving on the general board, um, that let me see, we talked about. No, I think it was just a general membership, but a youth member would still be able to vote. Correct. So do you want me to discuss then First Amendment or just the whole thing that we had talked about as a board? Yep. Okay. So, nope, that would bring it to the vice president update. Yep, I think those will be brought up when we get back to the amendments discussion. For those not reading the chat or that are watching this afterward, most of it is about age and specifically the treasurer position, anyone being underage. So, all right. Mm-hmm. Correct. Um, and I think the thing we had mentioned there specifically for Mason's case, when we've got a youth member or a junior member on the board, that they are allowed to vote. Correct. Yep. Okay. So I will make the motion that we have in the First Amendment, or this current amendment, that any junior member serving as a general board member is allowed to vote in elections. Correct. Nope. Okay. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Do you want me to pull it up? Yep. All right. And from there, it goes to your treasurer. Oh, to the treasurer's report. Sorry, that'd be Leah. Mm-hmm. I'll make the second. Oh, really, really quick before we do that. Really quick before we do that, is there any opposition to changing banks over? And then I don't know if that's something we have to vote on, but we'll put it to a vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion will carry. Go ahead, Leah. Sorry for interrupting. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I guess as a little bit of a clarification, I thought we already had a nonprofit status. Is that okay? Okay. Was that ever done, or was that something that needed to be done? Okay. Hmm. Okay. I was gonna say I wasn't sure where the lines were for that, but from everything I've heard, it's not easy to do. So yeah, I have no qualms about going forward with it, and because I think it's already in the bylaws, we shouldn't need to put it to a vote. If there's any opposition, I guess now's your chance to say it. Okay. Mm. Okay. All right. I'll second that motion. Yeah. From a oh, go ahead. Hey, I'm really quick. It looks like it's on a timer, and we've got about a minute left before Zoom is gonna kick us off. So we're gonna jump back on to that same meeting link, and it should hopefully be able to restart us in the same things. We'll continue this conversation in a second. Um, and I will keep the recording going so you guys will be able to still see this meeting in a bit. But yeah, I don't want our conversation to be cut short or us to not have to continue the meeting for it. Yep, I think get off and then jump back on and it should work. And I'll end the meeting for everyone. I'm wondering that too. I can take that this month and look into that. Um, is that an expense that we've had before though? Because I believe we've paid for the full Zoom so we can have the longer meetings. And if not, then I guess we can bring it to a motion about or to approve getting a full Zoom meeting. Um, Mason says it's happened to him before, so okay. Well, we can talk about that as a board. And it sounds like one of the board members may be able to get a full, like, have the full paid Zoom already. But just so in the future, we haven't had this in the past in a while, and it's not something that we're going to want to keep doing. So, okay, going back onto nonprofit status, I believe Rodney, you were talking about putting putting a condition in the motion so that up to a certain amount of money on potentially getting the nonprofit status or working to get the nonprofit status could be used before it'd be brought to a full board, correct? Right. Mm-hmm. So I guess a different way to approach it would be how much would we be able to spend with our current budget and finances before it's going to become an issue and something that we should address, or it would be too much for us to be able to afford this year, I guess. And that would be from more of a treasury standpoint. Yep, absolutely. Mhm. Mhm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Mm. Okay. Yeah. Okay. S- s- you're muted, Rebecca. Okay. That was my biggest, I guess, my concern going into it is it's not going to be something where we physically can't pay for it. It's just going to be, and if we have the reserves for it and we can cover it with the reserves, I would say right now it wouldn't be a cost that I would, if it wouldn't be a cost that I would say the board would have to approve if the reserves can cover it. But I would say if we have to change different things in our budget for it, then maybe we have to like the board has to approve the cost. But it sounds like it should be well under that, or at least for the most part under that. Mm-hmm. Yep. You just said Rebecca. I'll second that motion. All right. Okay. I'll have quick vote on that motion too. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And Leah, you said, is there anything else you've got? Okay. And then the big one, we'll move into Melissa's, that side, Melissa's secretary update. Yep. Give me 1 second to share. And just to clarify, you want the draft of the First Amendment up there, right? Perfect. Okay. Do you want to run through for members that maybe haven't seen it, just quick, like, here's the highlights of it. You don't need to read it, but just this is what we did. Okay. Okay. I'm good with you proceeding, but I don't know. I'm scrolling on the screen, but I don't know if it's going to be slow enough, fast enough for people to read. My recommendation would be, if we can put that link in the chat for someone to open it up on their own. Otherwise, you can follow along. I guess just kind of scrolling through. Okay. It's in the Facebook group, but in the chat for the meeting. Okay. Otherwise, we'll keep scrolling through quick. If I'm going too fast for anyone or too slow, please verbally say something so I can slow down or speed up. All right, and I believe the amendments were to Articles 6 and 7. Trying to. Okay, so if we get through 7, we should be good. Okay. All right. You're good to. Yep. Okay. Okay. So I will share the page that I have for general board. Yep. Yep. And then let me share this specific tab. So I can read it straightforward because it's not super long. There shall be a general board made up of 3 members. The general board shall be responsible for oversight and management of recruitment, including flyers, emails, and newsletters. They shall maintain and update the organization's social presence, including website and social media platforms, as well as manage the started programs for junior and general members and any other tasks needed to support general membership and attendance. And then in there, I said the general board of directors shall ensure they are informed about all activities and decisions within the association and shall provide regular reports to the full board of directors, including the executive board, about their responsibilities at the board and general meetings. So I guess if anyone's got any questions on wording, language, specific parts in there, now is a good time to bring that up. And then this for clarification here, is this something that requires a whole member vote? And we can put that to a whole member vote? Or okay, perfect. So, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Yeah, I'll do that right after this meeting. I'll send you the link for it. And then, I guess going off of that, did you want to talk about the whole bylaw? Okay. First draft amendment. Yeah. Let me share my screen. Sorry, if I share my screen and I jump to it, I can't see you guys. Otherwise, I will, and then I go back to it, and then I can't see where my screen is sharing. So let me figure out draft First Amendment. Okay. Okay. To yep. To clarify, yep. I guess would it make more sense for to do it in the same season that we're doing a different election in? Just yeah, correct. Yep. Mhm. I make a motion to approve that exact wording. And because we're changing a thing to the bylaws, we'll do the same thing. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. I motioned and Rebecca or Aaron seconded. You can pick one, yeah. I have no preference, so I'll make a motion for the president and secretary. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Yep. Okay. 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 Yep, that should be it. And then I believe that the no, we said the board meeting duties will be for the general board will be put above. They won't be in Article 7, correct? Yeah. 5D. Perfect. Yep. Okay. If there are no further objections, I'll stop sharing and we can. I don't remember what we have next. Okay. All right. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. And then for clarification, those will be posted on the website to update the bylaws there as well too, correct? Okay. Sounds good. Is there anything else for secretary update? Okay. Do you want me to bring that up in any other new business about um like the complete bylaw? Yeah. Okay. So something as the general and e-board had talked about is having Melissa completely redo our bylaws. So this is kind of Melissa's area of expertise. This is her area of expertise, specifically with all of the legal portions, and having her go through completely write everything to make sure that it's um, kind of reworded the way that we need it to be. A little bit more precise, a little bit more clean, and follows everything well. And I believe we had said, Melissa gave us an estimate of $500 to do that. Um, and the whole board agreed. It was a unanimous vote. Because of it is a larger sum, I believe we need to bring it up to membership. Um, and because we are changing bylaws, at the very least, it needs to be brought up and agreed on by members. Um, so Melissa, I'll let you explain a little bit more about it. I think going off of that from like a president standpoint, and like, because I know other people may see it as you're trying to promote yourself, but the amount of work that Melissa has put into the bylaws already and the improvements that we've had in it um, are substantial. And I think we would not be able to find a better rate from someone else. We would not be able to find someone else that is more willing to do it and like sit down and be thorough and cover everything and also approach it from the um like the organization standpoint of what our goals are, what we want to get done with it, and what we need from it. And I have, yeah, I think honestly it's going to be something that's going to set us up for a lot of success down the road. And then I think I'll make a motion for it. If people have questions, now is a good time to bring that up before I make a motion for it. All right. With that, I'll make a motion that Melissa will go through and reorganize some of the bylaws, redo it as needed. If there are big issues that come up, can bring them to the general and executive board um, for clarification or approval, and that we will pay Melissa $500 to do so. With that, we'll put it to a vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Yep. All right. With that, the motion carries. We'll go on. Melissa, is there any other secretary update you had? Okay. We'll go to the general board update. So if any of you guys want to take that. I was gonna. All right. And then on to the standard of perfection up. Oh, I should ask, does the general board have anything else to add to that? Say it was pretty quiet on there. Yeah, I was gonna bring that'll be brought up a little bit in the shows. We've got some more things to add to it too. So I've got the thing that she sent me to put in there. So for anyone watching and didn't know, Amy's driving right now, so unable to talk or video in, but she's here listening. So we're very glad to have her. So with that, we'll go into the standard of perfection update. So we haven't gotten much done with that since the last meeting. And the meeting before, we really haven't touched that much. And I talked with the general board and the executive board, and we feel it would be best to put a committee together for it. So instead of having the board start making some of those decisions or start writing it, drafting it, have a committee of people that are putting it together. We felt that some of the people we'd like to help with it aren't on the board, and vice versa. There are people on the board that didn't feel that they would be qualified or wanted to help with it. So, correct. Um, so in general, like they would be in charge of like working with the standards, so at updating it if people bring a concern to the to the standards committee, or an error, the standards committee would be in charge of changing that. And then the same way, the youth committee is in charge of and has to report to the general board. The standards committee would also be in charge of reporting to the general board and at meetings. So they'd still be accountable. They're not just kind of off doing their own thing. We'd still get updates and hear on everything that's going to be going on. But that way, I think we'd have a good group of people still working on it. And we'd still be able to get the base of knowledge and hopefully make some more progress with it. Because I know a lot of the board members are pretty busy. So, is that something that needs a motion, Melissa? Or is that something we can... Okay. So we'll say, I'll say for, oh, you're muted. Okay. So I'll make a motion and I'll say, by the March meeting, have an idea of who wants to be on the board. So reach out to anyone on the board if that's something you want to be a part of. The committee will make their own decisions on when they're going to meet, how often, and who's going to work on it. But then they would just, at the general meetings, have updates for everyone. So reach out before March if you're interested in being a part on it. And I'll make a motion to start a general standard of perfection committee responsible to the general board. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. The motion carries. And it looks like we've got a timer again. So we've got, I know. So we'll sign out, we'll re-sign on. There should only be a little bit left to the meeting. So thanks for hanging in there. We're almost through everything. Thanks for everyone for signing on again, for getting everyone in. And then, okay, so we have not quite everyone. We'll give it just a minute yet. There we go. Okay, we've got Aaron on and Michael coming in yet. Okay. So I think that's just about everyone. We may get a couple more people joining on that I'll admit as they come. But from there, we've got an update on shows. So I'll start really quick with Amy's update that we had talked about. So with the fun show, there was a couple of things that were brought up. So we had a few people that entered chicken feather crafts instead of quail feather crafts. And because it's a quail show, they were disqualified, unfortunately. And then the other thing that was brought up was one of the cooked egg recipes was raw eggs. So that one also didn't go through. But we're hoping to do a second fun show, and that'll be run pretty much entirely by Amy. She's been the one doing behind the scenes for all of this one and putting in a ton of extra work for that, and has sponsors for it. So she actually got gift cards together, so that'll be going out soon. The second round of voting, I wasn't sure if it was posted this afternoon. If not, it's going to be posted tomorrow morning, and that'll be finishing up. But everyone that made it through the first round of voting will be getting gift cards for the best in each class there. And then she's also looking at putting together one in June. I believe the date was June 26th. And putting a summer fun show together. So that would go through June and July. My guess would be voting in August. And kind of the same concept, more fun, not necessarily for points. And we'd probably change some of the categories just to make it more clear, like cooked eggs versus raw eggs, and making sure that we're using quail feathers instead of like other poultry. So things like that. If you've got questions or want to help out with it, want to be a part of it, reach out to Amy. She's done a great job with it, and I'm sure she'll do just as good with the next one too. So with that, we'll move on to the rest of the shows. And I know Jen Jordan has been patiently waiting the whole meeting to talk about the shows that she did. So I will hand it off. Maybe. Oh, you're still muted. There we go. Um, just as a general like thing, chicken people, like chicken judges, especially some of the really well established judges, may not be super open to it. They're very traditional. They want to make sure that things are going through um everything properly, and the APA is very much by the book, by the rules for a reason. They've got everything organized. So if you are like unsure about it, or you hit a judge that's like, no, I don't want to do quail. Um, if you get a chance to talk to the judge directly and just see like what some things and some issues that they have with it, they may bring up something that we completely overlooked. And so it it's never hurts to reach out. And I would say if you're looking for any other shows, Jen is also a fantastic resource. She's done this now several times. And at the different shows, I think you can say you learn a lot. It's a lot of fun. And Michael can talk too a little bit. I wasn't able to talk to him directly about how the shadowing went, but just kind of what it entails. I'm assuming it's pretty similar to clerking, where you're kind of going with the judge, you're walking through what they're looking at, and I'm not sure. Michael? Did they have you write down placings there, or was it just more like a casual talking with them as they're going? Mm-hmm. I was gonna say Rebecca. Yeah. From I think okay. I think I think that would be great to have as a resource for breeders, for quail breeders in particular. And I think the committee is a fantastic idea. I don't know how Michael and Jen Jordan um, feel like feel about being on the committee, but I think both of them would be great to be on it. Um, from a judging perspective, I'm not sure how many APA ABA judges would look through that. It may be good to have for them to offer it to them to say to look through this. I know. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think we can. Michael and Jen, I think would be great resources, and I would love to have a committee with it. If you guys are up for it, of like, I'm interested in a show. These are the people I'm gonna reach out to, that kind of know a little bit what's going on. Okay. Yeah. Usually the way committees go, you can and they can kind of figure figure out among themselves if they want to have just one person kind of be a spokesperson. They don't need to have one board member in the committee. It can be helpful, but they don't need it. But they're responsible to reporting to the board. So they would bring things up to the board as they go. They talk about it to the board, and usually they do either like a um, semi annual report or a monthly report or however they want to figure that out. They're just responsible to bringing it to the board. I saw something came up in the chat. Let me pull it up. Yeah. And then Rodney put together something about judging for the own use. So, like a video about judging. So videos of like good versus poor standards. That I think would be something um, that would be really good for either the show committee or the standards committee. Both of them. That could be something the youth committee could do together. Um, it, I think that in general would just be a really good resource to have. Um, So I guess I will make a motion to start a show committee, and then same thing with the standards committee responsible to reporting to the board, and then let let one of the board members know if you're interested by next March. We'll have that put together, and then I'll probably reach out to both Jen Jordan and Michael about if one of you guys wants to head the committee up. That works. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Okay, the motion passes. And that is all that we have for new business. So if anyone has other new business, I believe Kelly. Oh, go ahead. Yeah. Woo! There might be. Okay. I think Amy, maybe Mason, and as general board, I think you were talking. You general board have talked a little bit about it, but and who is in charge of? I know general board had talked as newsletter was something that they were gonna kind of manage, but that being said, definitely can. It's more of an oversee. If they want to do it directly, they can. But if Mhm. Melissa, you're muted. Yeah. Amy actually put it in the chat that we should have a media committee. With someone in there, and Kelly, I think you'd be great on the committee as just like a general, I think more of a, newsletter, putting like the flyers or pictures on social media, things like that. Kelly, is that something you'd be up for? You're muted, but I think that's a yes. Okay. Yeah. So, and let me see. There's another thing. Perfect. So, Amy, I don't know how you're feeling on this because I can't see or hear you, but I propose that there's a media committee with Amy and Kelly on it, and whoever else that'd like to be involved can reach out to them. And yeah, make that an official motion and second it. And then we'll come back in March with that, with the list of people that are officially interested on it, and go from there on it. So with that, all in favor say, oh, yeah. I have not. All right. Did we vote on that? All in favor say aye. all, all opposed, same sign. All right. The motion passes. Is there any other new business? Yeah. Okay, I'll make the motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:03 p.m. Oh, shoot. Yeah, 8:03 Eastern Time. Thank you for correcting me on that. All right. Have a good night, guys.